OCD is a master manipulator. It doesn't just yell at you about worst case scenarios, it whispers just enough truth to make you doubt everything. Today, I'm going to be talking about the tricks, cheats, and mental loopholes OCD uses to keep you stuck. Not only are you going to hear how it keeps you stuck, you're also going to learn how to spot these things so that you can pull yourself back into the land of the here and now. As you know, OCD doesn't play fair. It lies, cheats, bends the rules, and it does this all to make you feel like you have to listen to it. OCD thrives on confusion, and if OCD were a person, it's one of the most toxic friends out there because it twists your words and makes you second guess yourself. You could be doing all the hard work. You could be doing the exposures, the journaling, the worksheets, the awareness, and somehow OCD still has that upper hand. Why? Because it's tricking you in ways you haven't identified yet. So today I'm going to be pulling back the curtain on how OCD tricks you. Because the thing is, you already know it's OCD, and yet you still feel the urge to fix it, to prove something, to figure it out. It's not a weakness, it's just an illusion that OCD creates. So the first thing OCD does in tricking you is what's called mismatching. In mismatching, OCD is presenting information that happened to someone else to give credibility to your doubt, is trying to apply it to your current situation. So, for example, my neighbor once left their garage door open and he was robbed. So I could easily leave mine open. Seems valid, but it's a mismatch because that was your neighbor. This is not you. This is not your present reality. Next way it tries to trick you is reverse reasoning. So this is when you've already come to an assumption, a conclusion, but it's false or there's no valid evidence for this conclusion. It kind of reminds me of the confirmation bias, where you've already got a conclusion and you're trying to find evidence to justify this assumption. The typical reasoning starts with an observation in reality, but then it leads to a conclusion about that observation. The example is with the doorknob. You're already assuming the doorknob is dirty, so then you go to the idea of it's dirty because a lot of sick people touch it. There's no evidence for that, but you're convinced that the doorknob is dirty because apparently sick people have touched it. So it begins with an idea that creates a conclusion, and then you try to find evidence to justify that reasoning, but it's totally backwards and in reverse. Next is out of context facts, where OCD presents facts which may or may not be true because they have nothing to do with the reality in the here and now. Just like, for example, meteors hit the earth, but that's not what's happening right now at this very moment. So we're going to act very different if there is a meteor on its way here to earth, right? But that's totally out of context of what's actually happening right now. So we're going to go about our lives as if we're not afraid of a meteor hitting earth. So that's the out of context trick. The next trick is the double jeopardy. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because OCD convinces you to obey it, which then creates a new doubt because something bad might happen because you obeyed it. Let me give you an example. Say you are worried that you left your hair straightener on. So you feel this urge to go back and check. You go back and check, but in the process of checking your hair straightener, you walk away and then wonder, what if I accidentally turn it back on again? That is the double jeopardy trick. Next one is going deep. This is when you find yourself in rabbit holes, going deeper and deeper into the fears, the obsessions, the worry, in an attempt to try to solve it. The more you go deep into this obsession, the further away you get from reality. So the example is, what if my water is contaminated? And to go deeper into that, you feel like if I sent this water off to a lab, they could find some germs in it. There's definitely something in there that I can't see. That's how going deep works and tricks you. Living the fear is another trick. I'm sure we've all been there where we get so nervous and so worked up that we actually start to experience a headache or nausea, chest tightness. Those physical feelings start to then trick you into believing that some of these health worries are coming true. What if I'm actually having a heart attack? What if I have a brain tumor? Or what if I actually get sick and vomit? Last one is testing it out. This one shows up in sexual orientation OCD, even relationship OCD. OCD convinces you to test out a behavior because you're trying to get evidence to disprove your doubt. The example is I doubt my sexual orientation, so I look at other women to test if I'm turned on. But then you feel confused if you are turned on. Like, how do you know? Same situation for your relationship. Like, how do I know I'm with the one? Then you start to look at other potential partners and seeing yourself with them. And it's like, oh my goodness. Okay, so like with relationship OCD, it will trick you into thinking, do I feel excited when I think about my partner? So you're trying to test your feelings, you're searching your body, you're waiting for a feeling, and that spark doesn't show up. So you start to panic. You may also test it out in your mind of imagining you two getting married to see how you feel. And if you feel happy, then it's good. But if you feel numb, then it's a sign that it's wrong. But no matter what the result is, OCD finds a loophole. So, really, overall, OCD uses a lot of tricks to keep you stuck, starting with mismatching. Next is reverse reasoning. Then it's out of context facts. Then it's double jeopardy, going deep, living with the fear, and testing it out. OCD will always try to convince you that you've got things all wrong, and it undermines your confidence all the time. But to stop giving in to this uncertainty and to the OCD doubts, it doesn't need years of therapy. In fact, you don't need to take any more tests. You don't need to read any more articles. You just need your life back. So, if this episode called out one of the tricks that your OCD is playing on you and you're ready to stop falling for it, DM me on Instagram and just say me, and I'll send you something to help you take the next step toward real peace. My handle is Erin Davis Coaching. That's ErinDavis Coaching. All right, y'all. Thanks for being here and stay blessed by the best.